Thanks, Susan. Former U.S. National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden has declared his mission accomplished. The fugitive whistleblower lives in exile in Russia to avoid facing charges for leaking thousands of secret documents to journalists. In an interview, Snowden outlined his argument for opening up the NSA to worldwide scrutiny over its electronic surveillance activities. CCTV's Daniel Ryntjes reports from Washington.
Declaring mission accomplished to the Washington Post newspaper, Edward Snowden says he wanted to give society a chance to determine if it should change itself. Among the internal U.S. National Security Agency documents he leaked were those demonstrating that the private fiber optic data cables of major U.S. internet companies were being tapped abroad, with cooperation from Britain's GCHQ spy agency. That has enabled the NSA to gather billions of pieces of data each day on the phone and internet activity of millions of people and the exact location of millions of mobile phones, which are stored on giant databases. This activity was in addition to legally sanctioned requests in the United States for specific data made directly to the U.S. tech and phone companies.
The tech companies feel that if the NSA wanted the information, all they had to do was knock on their front door instead of going around the back door and kicking it in and getting the information without their knowledge.
15 major tech firms, including Google, Apple, Yahoo, and Twitter, are now lobbying Washington to move aggressively to curb the mass extraction of data. Earlier in the year, President Obama set up an expert panel to work out ways to reform America's surveillance system.
You can't have 100% security and also then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience. We're going to have to make some choices as a society.
That panel has now made 46 recommendations, including the scrapping of a massive phone database of calls made and received in the United States. Meanwhile, 2 proposed surveillance reform laws are making their way through Congress, including the USA Freedom Act, which would end the NSA's bulk data collection practices.
The USA Freedom Act would also significantly limit kind of the wholesale collection ability. It would say that you have to have a good reason connected to an open investigation to be able to access this type of metadata.
President Obama maintains that the goal of such activities has never been to interfere in the private lives of ordinary people. The NSA maintains that it only uses its expansive database to track and investigate those who threaten U.S. national security. It's clear that the fugitive whistleblower's actions have eroded public trust and are likely to lead to changes in the way America conducts electronic surveillance worldwide. The extent of those changes, though, is dependent on what members of Congress are prepared to do in 2014. Daniel Ryntjes, CCTV, Washington.